Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Exodus, chapter 10, verses 1 through 29. Now, the Lord sends Moses and Aaron once again to go confront Pharaoh. And Pharaoh, his heart continues to grow harder and harder. And why? Because Pharaoh resents God's power. He resents God telling him what to do. And it is same with the world today. And part of the reason why Pharaoh resents God is because all he receives is the majesty and the power of the Lord. All he receives is the law and the wrath of God. And so the more he receives this, the more he hates God. And the Lord tells Moses and Aaron, these things that I'm doing against Egypt, they're not for them. They're for you, so that you may know that I am the Lord your God. For them, it's wrath. But for you, this is a sign of my grace, my redemption, to bring you out of the pit of slavery. And so they go and they ask Pharaoh, how long? How long are you going to refuse to humble yourself, against a God who shows that he's clearly more powerful than you? And if you don't, we're going to bring a hurt tomorrow, 24 hours, fast delivery of locusts. Now, Pharaoh, who, when he hears this, that he's going to bring the locusts, this is a problem because he's got two gods that are supposed to, one is Seth, and Seth is supposed to be the god of storms and disorder. Who's this God of Yahweh who's going to bring storms and disorder? And then they have a God wholly dedicated to protecting them from locusts, because locusts were a huge problem in the ancient world. They still are today, but much more so then. In fact, God used the locusts against his own people of Israel when they rebelled. And so they have this God, Sarapia, and he's supposed to defend them against the locusts. And God says, I'm going to take those gods down. In fact, I'm going to send so many locusts that they're going to cover the ground. There's going to be a black swarm. They're going to devour every green thing you have. They will fill your homes. It will be like you've never seen it, because you've never encountered a God like me. And his officials are like, Pharaoh, please, everything's a wreck. Cut these people some slack, let them go worship. And so Pharaoh says, all right, who's going to worship? And they say, well, we're going to take our men and our women and children. And Pharaoh loses his mind and says, clearly you are bent on evil. Now, this is just hilarious. Bent on evil because we want to go worship the Lord, or because we might flee your slavery. And so he says no. So east wind blows all night. 24 hours later, there is on this jet stream comes all these locusts that eat everything. And so Pharaoh quickly summons the very men he sternly pushed out of his palace. Summons them. Okay, I have sinned against the Lord again. I want you to pray for the Lord. And so they pray for the Lord. And a strong wind comes and blows away the locusts, but it doesn't blow any softness into his heart. And so God once again brings darkness, total darkness for 3 days. And yet somehow God arranges so that there's light over Goshen, the place where the Israelites live. And so now Moses is called forward by Pharaoh again. He says, okay, I'll let you go worship with your men, your women, and your children. And Moses says, and we got to take our livestock too. And he's like, no, you're not taking your livestock. And Moses says, we need them for sacrifice, so we won't bother going at all. And that's the end. Hey, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.